You are going to love this one. Kids are telling their parents, show me the money. According to a new survey by T. Rowe Price, it says 77% of parents are not always honest with their children about money. 27% withhold information about family finances.
It's tough, I can say it. So what can parents do to teach their kids about important money matters? Let's ask an expert. Larry Winget is with us from Phoenix, Arizona. He's the author of Your Kids Are Your Own Fault. Good morning to you, Larry.
Good morning.
So there are a couple simple tips you say that you can start to teach your kids about money. Tell us about them.
Well, first of all, if you help them establish clear life priorities, then understand how money works, then teach about discipline, and then make sure they understand the unseen hidden costs of money. If you get those things, you're probably going to be in pretty good shape.
First of all, life priorities. You make it seem so easy. No, it's not. Is it?
Oh, yes, it is. It really is.
It's so easy.
Well, it comes down to priorities. If it's important for you to make sure your kids understand about money, then it's really very simple. You just communicate with them what they need to know. When it comes to priorities, you have to understand that your money always goes to what's important to you. So if looking cute is to you, you're going to spend your money at the mall. If being trendy is important to you, then you're going to have the latest gadget. But if financial security is important to you, well, then that's where you're going to put your money. It's all about priorities and choosing. You know, we tell our kids, and that was part of the survey, that we can't afford something when we can. Well, what we should be saying is we choose not to spend our money on that right now. Always remind your kids it's about choosing well.
I've said that. I said let's make 2012 the year that we don't buy things that we don't need. I tell the kids that.
But we still do it. And Larry has a simple rule for financial survival. It's save 10%, invest 10%, give 10%, and live on the remaining 70%. But Larry, when do you start to teach your kids that lesson? And how do you do it? How do you first introduce it?
Well, I don't think it's ever too early to start teaching your kids about money. You can do it with an allowance of 10 dimes and say this dime is a dime we give to people who are never going to have anything because it's the right thing to do. This dime we're going to put away and save. So someday you'll want to have that dime for something you really want. This dime you're going to invest because when you invest this dime, one of these days that dime will be 2 dimes. And then here are your 7 dimes that are left. And you get to spend those dimes, but you only get to spend those. It's a great lesson because 40% of Americans spend more money than they have. That trend has to change. And I think that's what kids are seeing in their parents. We're spending more money than we have. Why don't you teach us better?
Larry Winget, you make a great point, right? That's why everybody says plastique magique. They're out using their credit cards and spending more than they actually have. Thank you, Larry, so much.
You bet.